Hi, hi guys. Let us talk about alteryx and Power BI in the overall picture of graphical process. So in your company or in any graphical production, you might have to combine many tools together in order to complete the task. So for example, FDD is one of them. So you start with the unstructured data in the VDR, and then if you if you want to consolidate or you want to merge all the sources together, of course you have to think of alteryx. So alteryx is here, and then uh, you can have different uh, restructuring tools as well. So Alteryx is one of them, but you can use different sources. Like for example, you can use Python and R, which is like quite low level in the sense that you have to do a lot of programming work. Alteryx is a little bit programming, but it's still more like a high level. So it's quite similar to manual work in in Excel and then in PowerPoint as well. But for R and Python and Java, you have to do really serious coding job. Not in the sense that you have to do the coding in like computing school, but you have to write a lot of code. Okay, so you don't do a lot of like interaction, click and then check, but you have to write a lot of code. Okay, so the whole just remember the big picture is just from unstructured data to structured one. So you have to reshape the data, you have to merge the fragments together, and then you have to stack more columns on the data. So moving to the second part, which is to analyze the data. So this one involves a lot of plotting and pivoting. You need a lot of visualization tools or plotting tools. So for example, Excel chart is the base. Is like kind of baseline solution for all the charts, but then nowadays people move toward a different tool as well. So Power BI is one of them, Spotfire, and then Tableau, and then you have different option in the computing space as well. So for example, if you can use ggplot2 or like Seaborn, you can you can draw a chart as well. And then depends on the task. So sometimes Excel is very fast. If you have the data in the table and then you just select uh, the the columns and then you draw the chart, which is very fast in Excel. But then if you have like 10 or 20 tables like that in order to draw, then you will find like Power BI or Alteryx and then script. They're way faster, especially when you want to restructure or reframe the charts. So for example, if you want you have four charts and then you want to frame it in a long view, so you have four chart in the rows and then you change to a square view, which is like two by two in row. You find like Excel is very time consuming. But then the rest, for example, Alteryx and then uh, ggplot and then especially uh, Spotify, it will be very easy. Okay, so so that's mm, the the second stage, which is to convert tables and sources into pictures and charts. Okay, so oh, by the way, this one you have to do a lot of pivoting. So pivoting tools like Power BI, Power Pivot, and Excel, Excel Pivot, Excel classical pivot in Excel. So they are very helpful in this stage. So the final one is that you when you have a lot of pictures and then charts and pivots already, you need to combine them all together in the same place, in the same slide, and then you have to tell stories from those pictures. Then this is the last stage in the FDD report, which is to prepare the report for your audience or your managers, right? So depending on your workflow, you can use all the way from the Power BI and sorry, PowerPoint, and then upslide to, but you can also use like uh, a lot of scientific reporting tool as well. So LeText is one of them, and then NITR, and then sometimes you have to use a chart function as well. So in order to rephrase or rewrite your message or your report findings in the report, and then you have to use Copilot and then ChatGPT as well in order to write. So those things in here, they are mainly on the writing space or writing tools. These are plotting and pivoting tools, and this one is like tagging and merging. Okay, so this is the overall process, and normally in you have to do in your company. So either way you have to deal with you can use the analytical tools or the traditional tool. Either way, you have to deal with the same process. Okay, so if traditionally, then you can just manually you do Excel in here, and then Excel is here, and then PowerPoint in here. But then in the modern or this more advanced analytical framework, and then you need to use more computing tools in here, Alteryx and script, and then more visualization tool in here, Power BI, and then Tableau, and then Spotify in here, and then eventually you go to the reporting tool. Okay, so let me zoom in a little bit in what we have done uh, in this series so far. The first one is just to use the Power BI. So let me zoom in a little bit. Okay, so for Power BI in the same process for the FDD report, mostly you in the first place you have to focus on the chart formatting and then to draw the lines over the bars, and then you also understand the contextual computing in Power BI. So that's how you produce number for each cells or each element in your graphics or in your chart. Okay, so the second one is like more about pivoting. So you will see that actually you can produce the sortable uh, pivot in Power BI. This is different from Excel. If you want to sort an Excel table, pivot or non-pivot doesn't matter. You have to use a sorting tool. But for Power BI, for a table you prepare in sortable pivots, and then you can just sort the column one by one. So you can do like FY21 by total revenue in FY21 or FY22, or the total in the overall period. You can do the same thing. So basically it is sortable. And the second one would be the flexible pivot. So a flexible pivot in the sense that you can actually combine many measure together in the same place, and then you can cut it in different ways. So you can cut it by measure first, or like by FY first, and the other way you can cut the measure by certain breakdown by market, by segment. So these kind of thing is very flexible in Power BI if you know how to use them, the master measures, and also the mm, querying scale, or the chart of account. So basically, in accounting, they just call it a chart of account or the list of account or the list of measures. But in Power BI, it's just a scale or a table with a lot of rows, and then you just put in the the rows in Power BI chart pivot, and then you can queries the numbers or you can measure the numbers. Okay. And then the next one will be how to combine the sources together. So instead of using the original source, you can combine sources together, and then you can produce something called the hypertilers. So the simple tiler, or the the default tilers in uh, Power Power BI or in Spotify or in Tableau. They are just the simple. Actually, in Tableau, you can just combine the sources in the view as well. But then they just give you the subset of the data with the tiling tools. But then if you want to tie the global and then the local scales together, you need to blend the sources. Okay, so this is when you need to use the computing tools in Power BI such as Union tool or the Power Query M merging window in order to blend the sources. And then the last one would be the outsourcing chart. So if you know how to use the mm, R script visualization or the Python script visualization, then you can outsource the drawing task to the third party. So in this case, you can outsource to R and then Python. So it will be easier for you to just draw the chart, and then you can customize the chart in your own way. So this is different from the default charts in Power BI because you can, as long as uh, your your R script library in your system can run the chart, then it's fine. It can draw. So it also like don't you supposed to use the standard packages. They are safe and then they are accepted by the communities already. So it is safe for your company as well. But then mm, if you use like a very uh, uh, unfamous or like provided by any untrusted sources, then it's very dangerous as well. So normally in the company, they will have the QIM team in order to trust the software. So Alteryx in your company might be different from the general Alteryx because some of the component will be removed for the QIM purposes. Power BI also same thing. I think Power BI mostly the customized charts from the third party will be removed from the companies because the third party can actually steal the data by just drawing the chart. So basically, when you draw the chart, you have to send the data to the third party, and then they will send back you the picture, and then it will be can be dangerous for your company. So that's why the QM team in the company normally they will remove those packages and then R script and then Python, the standard one will be safe for you to draw. But also remember that the outsourcing part is not clickable in the sense that in the bar chart and then the line chart in Power BI, the default one, you can actually click on the items. But then when you outsource the chart, you have the picture, but then you cannot click on the items. So that's also the difference between the built-in or the default chart and the outsourcing charts. Okay, and and then the other part, which is this one is a good part of outsourcing actually, that you can actually still draw the dynamic chart. So meaning that whenever you select the slicer, so select something in the slicer, the source will be updated and then the chart will also be redrawn for you. So this one meaning that even when you cannot click on the element of the chart, but if you want to refresh the chart with the new input data, then you can still do it. And then that's the whole purpose of investigation or inspection. So basically, if you want to zoom in or you want to look into the certain categories or certain buckets of your data set, and then you can still do it. Okay. So moving to the next part, which is outreach. Uh, in here, you can see outreach can be here and here. So unlike Power BI, outreach can be used for visualization and then uh, and then data structuring as well. And to be honest, sometimes I think alteryx is more powerful than Power BI in the some pivoting tools because you can actually check the sources after you pivot. So after you pivot, you can check the totals and everything. And then also you can mix the sources all together in the same place. And then you can draw the charts as well. So especially when you uh, you deal with hypertilers in here. So in alteryx, actually you can blend the sources and then you draw the chart inside also. Okay, so that's why Outreach is my recommendation. Also, the pricing I think is a little bit competitive, but assuming that if you don't have budget or you don't want to pay, then you have other options here as well. But if you can pay, uh, I think it's reasonable amount a year, and then depends on the option or depend on the package mm, you pay for Alteryx, you can access to the drawing function and also the data structuring as well. So in Outreach, actually, the most important part and the first part is the input and output, and I need to emphasize in the first place because if you don't do the correct thing in the input and the output later, you have to fix the workflow, and then it will be a little bit troublesome because you have to follow button by button. So that's the thing. So basically, you need to watch the video in the series, training series, and then you know the right thing to do. Or you can make mistakes at least in like the first few weeks, but then after that you need to be aware of the input. So this is the correct way to treat the input in order to avoid troubles later. And then output is also the same thing. You can the output can be run or can be mm, structured in the sense that it can run in all the computers. So it's kind of like portable solution for all the computers. So the same thing with reshaping and then also the merging as well. So in Alteryx, I think is uh, it has the function to merge all the files together. Actually, in Power BI, you can do that as well, but it's just like for non-coding people, it will be a little bit difficult to do that. So in Power BI, the PQM window actually allows you to merge many tables together, and then you can write the PQM language statement in order or expression in order to do so. So you just write one function only, and then due to the similarity in the structure of the files, and then you can then use the same function to basically load all of them all together, assuming that they have the same structure. If they have different structure, you have to think about other options. Power BI is not that good for to handle the like uh, different structures. Okay, but then in Outreach actually they have the merging macro, and then it's the similar concept. It's just like to for each file is a format, uh, and then you can use the same macro, and then you merge all the rows together or all the values together, and then later you can use in the common basis. So this is the most powerful part of the outreach, because you see here outreach is just from the different fragments or different part of the VDR, and then you consolidate or you combine all the sources or all the fragments all together in the same place. And then this is the first important part. The second part is uh, the um, pivoting part. So basically, Outreach only provides some of the like summarize tool, and then cost table or the pivoting tool. But then it's very powerful, or at least it's powerful enough to perform all the FDD views that you see in the FDD report in Big Four. Okay, so like you want to combine the month and the years in the same view, and all the Big Four do that in their books. You want to combine the age, month, the age number, and then the active number in the month of the your stores or your customers cohort, and then you can do that as well in this Outreach, and then you can export to Excel as well. So if you export in Excel, and then you can reuse the Excel file or the data file, the output file in different workbooks. So for example, you can use in Power BI, you can use in Spotfire, and then you can use in Excel as well. Because in the modern Excel, actually, you can link the one Excel file to another Excel file without opening it. So you can you have the same thing as the PQM windows in Power BI. So you can link the source, the dependent or the child table to the master Excel, and then everything, all the numbers of the child table or the child file will be pulled together in the master table. Okay, so so this is why pivoting in Outreach is a very good choice. Okay, so the next part would be the just to shuffle the values around. So from row to rows, and from column to rows, and then rows to columns, and then computing the running total, and then year on year link. So this one is like kind of like uh, the exercise to think in rows and columns of the data. So if you have the numbers in rows, then how can you uh, perform like the adding and subtracting, and then max and mean, something like that, all the way from row to row. But then if you put the same values in the columns, then you have to think in the different ways, and then you have to you have to design a different workflow for it. So it just by shuffling or putting the values in rows or in columns, you can you can make your life more easily, or also maybe you may run in trouble because you put it in the wrong way. So the most common example would be like you have 24 months in 24 columns, and you want to sum all the months together in order to get the total revenue in the period for the ranking. So if you don't know how to like unpivot or combine all the row columns together, you will end up with like column 1 plus column B all the way to sorry, column 1 plus column 2 all the way to column 24, and then this is very long one. I think if you write the long expression like that, you will make mistake. And the first question is, why you have to do that? Because the thing is that you think in Excel, so Excel everything it has to be in columns, and then to generate another column, and then also everything has to be in row to generate another row. So think like that. Because if you think another way, it's like you can if you want to turn the rows in column or columns to row in Excel is very difficult to do, because mostly you have to drag, and then dragging is uh, you have to put it in parallel. So the sum will have to go next to the input values, and either in one direction, or or in rows, or in column. You cannot like switch the value around in order to make it faster. But in Alteryx, actually, yeah, you can do that. Okay. So the last one would be this one is I actually for FDD people, is it like specifically for FDD workers, not for general audience, because it it deal with a lot of specific presentation and analysis, such as survival analysis or cohort tagging, and then what the full analysis, and then temporal allocation in order to recognize the revenue of the rent rows as well. So this part is there's two things in this part. The first thing is you have to do this part because you want to understand Outreach more. Uh, with application. So these kind of things like oh, this is those are a very good application in FDD and in general to understand Outreach more. And the second thing is like uh, if you uh, if if you are in FDD service line, and then those things are like essential. Uh, those things are essentials. Part of the FDD's analysis anyway. So it's like you have to put coffee into and sugar in in order to make a cup of coffee anyway. So if you want to serve coffee to client, you need to use coffee beans and then also sugars and water as well. So this kind of thing you cannot avoid eventually. So so you either you know it in Excel already and then you migrate it to Alteryx, or you just have to start from Alteryx itself. So if you don't have any Excel skill, actually it's very good news, because you start everything from beginning. You don't have to rethink, or don't have to reframe anything from Excel to Alteryx. But also sometimes I think that uh, uh, using Excel to demonstrate the output, which is okay, is possible to do that. But actually, just look into the output and then look into the input from the VDR. You don't know how to get there in Outlook eventually. So eventually, you have to learn about those things first. Learns about those kind of like basic technique. I would say basic and foundation at the same time. So basic meaning that you can start in the beginning as a beginner as well. But foundation meaning that uh, it will lay the foundation for all your analytics and all the future work based on those kind of things. So uh, uh, if you know how to perform waterfall analysis, and then you can complete like maybe 20 to 30% of your report, or sometime temporal allocation, you can lay the foundation for 50% of the slide in your report already. So this part, although is like very small in Outreach, but for the FDD is a big thing. So you try to master this important part. Okay. So that's all for, I think, for the whole process. And you just look for the similar, because I use the same tagging, the same hashtag. So you just look for the similar tags to this video, and then you will have all the topics I mentioned in here, and then for Atrix, and in here for Power BI. Okay, have fun, guys.